Hey boys and babes, welcome back to my channel. Whoa, it's been a while since I've said that. But yeah, welcome back. We are building a laundromat, bubble tea cafe, and hot to go pizzeria. I love the idea of having several types of buildings on one lot. Since we don't have open world, it just makes the game feel a lot more alive, and you don't have to go through loading screen after loading screen after loading screen. So, with businesses and hobbies, we actually get to do this in a way that's functional to the game. I am super excited. I've decided to do a whole new save live. What? A whole new save file. So I'm redoing every single world, starting with Newcrest, just because Newcrest is already empty. So I don't have to bulldoze all the lots and start from scratch. Now, Newcrest is empty in a bad way. Like, all the lots are really flat. There's not a lot of terrain. There's not a lot of stuff going on. I think in the later packs and updates, we've seen the worlds look more alive, and there are a lot more things that your Sims can do without leaving a lot, if you know what I mean. Neighborhood activities. So I decided to combat that by adding a ton of like terrain and landscaping. So the idea here is that these three buildings, or this row of buildings, is up on a hill. It's going up. So I think that just adds so much more depth to the build and makes it a lot more interesting. And playing is super fun too. Like watching them walk up and stuff, like it's really cool. Also, it separates the buildings in a very real way. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you have like these two things right next to each other and the doors are right next to each other, I just feel like it just doesn't look as good, but also in gameplay, it's very annoying. I feel like it's something you have to experience to get what I mean. So having them separated this way with the hill and the stairs, I feel like it adds just another layer to the lot. So when you're playing, you will see what I mean. I talk about playing a lot because I did play test this lot for like a good 2 hours. Functionality is very important to me. I know a lot of builders, that's all they do is just build, but I probably spend an equal amount of time building as I do actually playing the game. These lots that I'm creating are for my main save file. Like, I am actually going to utilize these lots. Now, I don't intend for any of my Sims to be the owners of this small business. So, what I did, and I know technically I could have just left it as a small business venue, and I probably could still play it just like that. But what I did was I added an apartment on top of the pizzeria, and it is run by a single dad and his son. Why is he a single dad, you may ask? His wife died. The love of his life passed away. She died from laughing too hard, unfortunately. Very her coded. She was a free spirit, she was an artist, and she loved her husband and son very much. Unfortunately, she's passed away. Now, her name was Sky, her son's name is Mars, and her husband's name is Orion. So Orion and Mars are now running the pizzeria on their own. They live in the two-bedroom apartment on top of the pizzeria. And when we get to that portion of the video, you'll see that I did reflect that lore in the apartment. It very much gives single dad and son live here, and you'll see when we get to that portion. The landscaping took me a while. I do not have the tool mod, mostly just because I'm lazy and can't be bothered to download and learn how to use it. I know like it's a clutch tool for many builders, and I probably would have had an easier time doing the landscaping if I had just downloaded it, but I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to do that. And I mean, however long it took me, I got it done. Another reason this took so long is because I wasn't really operating off of any reference photos. So I kind of just like looked up shops in New Orleans on Pinterest, did a little scroll, and then got the vibe, and then decided what I wanted to do. That added some challenges. It's much easier for me to just look up a floor plan and replicate it, but this was challenging in a really fun way because I feel like this is low key the best thing I've ever built. Also, if you ever build from floor plans, you know that it never really turns out exactly like the floor plan because of the restrictions of like the 1 by 1 square grid measurement that you're kind of limited to with the Sims. So doing this and just like going by what was in front of me and what I knew the game would allow and what I felt would work in gameplay, I think like it caused me to actually do like a better job than if I just tried to like replicate something that was already done. It also allowed me to be creative in a way that, again, like if you're copying from like a floor plan or like doing oh my goodness, I can't talk. Doing an exact replica of something that you see online. I don't know, like you'll see when I did the decorating, like the creativity, especially for the bubble tea shop. I am so proud of that. Okay, here you see me playing around with the stairs and the foundations and platforms for each of the little buildings. That was fun. I think that added another layer of depth and realism, and I love the way it turned out. Um, I, I actually had to do this because of the columns. Columns in The Sims 4 are so weird to me because they do nothing. They're, to me, like any other sculpture or miscellaneous decor that we have in The Sims, yet you cannot really move them around like other structures. Like you cannot press Alt and freely place them anywhere you want. They snap into place and they stay there. And it's very annoying. So, figuring how to get that look of like a building or a row of buildings in New Orleans with all the columns and staircase and just like the molding and all of those beautiful features that you find in like a New Orleans architecture. That was difficult. But again, something that I'm not really used to doing, something that challenged me and made it actually like more fun and satisfying to build. So if you notice, I kind of did this backwards. Most people do landscaping last, but since it was such a major feature of the lot, I decided to do all of that first so that I knew exactly where the buildings were going, how it was going to look, and making sure that I had enough space to like operate. I don't know. Working backwards somehow helped me a lot, because as you can see, even though like I did put the main structure down, I'm having to go back and move things around and fix things, alter things, pull things here, push things there. So working backwards, I don't know. I think I might start doing that from now on because it really helped me. Um, yeah, the roofing. I don't remember what these things are called. These things, these molding things that go on the outskirts of the walls, but those were so annoying. Another thing that is like not functional at all, but just snaps into place. You can't really move it around how you like. And it was weird because in the bubble tea shop, you'll see there's a section of walls that for some reason the molding showed on the inside. Super weird. Hated that, but I did find a workaround. Here I'm just playing with paints and figuring out the vibe. I didn't want to put the same windows paint on each of the building because yes, technically it is the same building, but there are three different shops, right? So they're still independent of each other and they're meant to mimic three separate businesses, even though whichever sim you assign as a business owner for this lot is going to technically be responsible for all three sections. I want to appear as though it's three different businesses. And that's kind of matching the lore as well. Like this single dad and his son don't also own the boba tea shop and the laundromat, right? So I set it up in a way where it's like they're paying rent, and because bills in the Sims is like weekly, I feel like it made sense because their bills are going to match. So it's not as if like they're going to be making all this money from the laundromat and the boba tea shop and not be able to, um or I should say, and like be super rich from it, right? Like the bills are gonna match the lot. And also, if you've played, you know that your business gets taxed as well. So the money that they earn from the bubble tea shop and the laundromat, they're still going to have to spend that money on the business basically. Now, to make sure that they'll be able to like still make money and live as Sims, like let's say you want your Sims to live here. In the laundromat, we have the entrance fee kiosk. So it's kind of like the Sims are coming to the laundromat and paying their balance to do their laundry for the day. Then, of course, in the bubble tea shop, there are two of the boba tea bars. So those make a lot of money. In my other save file, my main save file, I have a family that runs a bookstore slash cafe, and that coffee bar makes so much money. It's insane. And then, of course, they will be making pizza and putting that in the little food display case or display case so people can come and buy pizzas hot to go. And they'll make money that way. So it works because the other two parts are also making money and adding to the household income, but it also works in a sense that it matches the lore and in a sense like yeah, your sim could be quote unquote renting this apartment, and most of the money that they earn, or a lot of the money that they earn, is going to go back into the business. Um, that being said, you can obviously do whatever you want if you end up downloading this lot from the gallery. It is completely like no CC, so you can download it just fine. I did use quite a lot of pack content though. So, and then obviously, if you don't have, what was it, high school years that the bubble tea content comes from, you won't be able to have bubble tea. You'll have to do like the typical cafe bar or something else, unfortunately. But it is no CC. So I saved you that. I spared you that. And trust me, the urge to use my CC, especially for this laundromat, I have some laundromat CC that would have been perfect. Like in my main save, I have a laundromat and cafe that I did like a long time ago, way before business and hobbies was ever a thing. Because, like I said, like I just love having things like that in my game. Um, but it was perfect. It's perfect. I have the perfect CC for a lot like this, but I didn't use any of it because I do want people to be able to download it from the gallery. I'm also trying my best to rely on the EA content. I feel like especially like recently with the kits and stuff, they've been doing a really good job with the build by objects. So it's like kind of another fun challenge for me because it's really easy to just search up whatever CC you want to match the exact thing that you're going for. It's another thing to like use what's in game. But mainly I do want people to be able to download this and use it in their game. So that was my main motivator for not using CC. Now, I was also thinking of uploading my boys, Orion and Mars, to the gallery. So if you wanted this as a lot, not for your Sims to own, but just for your Sims to like go to on a random day to do their laundry and get some bubble tea and then maybe pick up a pizza before they go back home. You can have it so that Mars and Orion are still running the business, and then it will add to your game with like townie lore, and also they perfectly fit the apartment upstairs because I did decorate the apartment to match their lore. It does match what they're going through up there, and we will get to that when we get to that. The bubble tea part of this build was definitely my favorite part. I love a cafe that's clearly for the girls, with the grass walls and the pinks and the salmons and the turquoise and the aquamarines. I love it. So that's kind of what I was going for here. So yes, you're gonna see a lot of pastels, a lot of pinks. Um, I just love it. And I also have it so that Mars works at the bubble tea shop instead of at the pizzeria. Mars and his dad do not have a good relationship. Okay, and it's even more strained now because Mars was really close to his mom and his dad was really close to his mom. So they're really struggling to deal with the grief of losing her, and then on top of that, their tumultuous relationship. So, as an act of rebellion, Mars tends the bubble tea bar. He does not work at the pizzeria. So that's just another bit of lore that I incorporated into this build. But obviously, too, you can assign the business owner however many employees. You can cheat their employee points or the small business points so that they can get the maximum amount of employees that you need, so that you can have somebody doing the pizza, tending the bars, and maybe someone else that we can call like a maintenance person, that their employee task could just be to fix and clean. Yes, I thought about all of that. Now, going on to the pizzeria, it is definitely giving like grab and go, uh Little Caesars hot and ready. Like this was not meant for your Sims to like come and have like a sit down date nice establishment. Like it's still cute, obviously, but it really is just for Sims to come grab a pizza, and there is some seating there, so if they want to sit and have the pizza right there they can, but there's not like a ton of seating. Now, with businesses and hobbies, obviously cooking and baking are business activities and employee tasks, right? However, this means that the Sims will cook and bake anything and everything under the sun. So you're wanting them to cook pizza and they're in the kitchen making watermelon salad. Like, that is something that definitely needs an update. But I did find a workaround. So, one, I tried just like removing the fridge, because if they have the fridge, they can make stuff that doesn't require actual cooking, like sushi, salads, sandwiches, all that good stuff. But I did find a mod. If you don't play modded games, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have a hard time running that pizza shop and having anybody but your playable Sims running the pizza shop, because they're gonna try to cook again everything and anything under the sun. There is a mod that adds 216 business activities and employee tasks to the game. And one of those activities is cook pizza specifically. So I recommend downloading that mod and then setting the employee task for whoever you want working in the pizzeria to pizza specifically. Cook pizza. Now moving on to the apartment. Again, it gives single dad works too hard, love his kid, and never stops. You know what I mean? He is busy tending his broken heart from his wife dying, raising his rambunctious teenage son, and running this pizzeria virtually on his own. So the apartment, it looks a little run down. It looks like it's lacking in care a little bit. You know, these are people who work in the food industry, so they're not like filthy or anything. But there are some holes in the walls, some chipped paint, some cobwebs. Probably needs a little dusting, a little vacuuming. Yeah. But upstairs, I also tried to match their bedroom to the vibe as well. Mars's bedroom is definitely giving angsty teenage boy. He is artistic like his mom and a geek, so I tried to have that show up in his bedroom. But yeah, I went for like really dark, broody colors. The drapes are drawn. He does not want any sunlight coming into his boy cave. Um, and then I gave him like a desk and a computer and a bunch of like posters and stuff. It just looks like a teenage boy lives in that room. I love that bedroom. And then for the main room, his dad's room, it looks as if a woman could be living there, or maybe in this case, was living there. You're also going to see that I did try to fit two bathrooms up here, but it just wasn't working out. Like, I know I could probably fit two bathrooms, but again, functionality is very important to me. And my biggest pet peeve when I download builds from the gallery is when the lots are not playable. Sims can't find paths, they can't access objects. It just ruins the gameplay and takes away your suspension of disbelief so bad. So I decided to just go with one bathroom that is open and fully operational, and your Sims will have no problem using it. And I also feel like it's a little bit more realistic. Like an apartment like this probably would not have two bathrooms. The only thing I wish I did differently was I wish I added a fire escape, because an apartment like this definitely would have and needs a fire escape, because if it catches fire downstairs in the pizza kitchen, the Sims are gone. The Sims are losing their lives that day, because the only way for them to get out of the building is to go back through the pizza kitchen. So I wish I did think of that, but you live and you learn. Next time, I'm not gonna go back and add one. I'm not doing that. But yeah, if there was one thing I would do differently, it would be that. But yeah, we're coming upon the end. You're just gonna see me add some like finishing touches, some lighting, and of course designating all the areas to residential versus employees only versus public. And that's it, guys. Like, oh my gosh, these pictures do not even do it justice. Like, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so good. When I say I think this is the best thing I've ever built, I think this is the best thing that I've ever built. Playing here was so fun. It looks so good. If you're the type of person to take pictures and screenshots while you play, this is a perfect lot for you to do that. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. I was so proud of myself. I am definitely going to put this in my main save file so that my Sims can come here and play. And I'm gonna go on to the lot next door, because I cannot wait to see how this street, much less the entire world of Newcrest, will look when I'm done with it. But I can't wait to see how this street is gonna look. It's gonna look so good. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Let me know what kind of buildings and businesses you want to see more of. What combinations are you looking forward to seeing? Um, what do you think of this build? And yeah, leave a like on the video. Thank you so much for watching. This has been so fun. I will see you guys next time. Bye.